you're constantly, like you said, swallowing back or holding back what you really want to say, because that does affect our it affects what the throat
Throat
chakra,
chakra.
and you have that the energy is not flowing. And I know maybe everybody doesn't believe in that, or think about that, but it does have a physical impact, even if it's not your throat chakra. It
But
has an
everyone has
impact.
felt
Yes.
once they've swallowed it, like they've swallowed a big old
Right.
a horse pill and it's stuck in their
It's
throat.
stuck in their
So
throat,
whether they think
and
of
it
throat chakras or not, we've
all
all
felt it.
experienced that.
And it
Absolutely.
also impacts the whole entire body,
It
whatever
does.
wherever your weakness is. Like I've
Mm-hmm.
told some other ladies who've come on, when I feel stressed or I feel that I'm not being or able to say how I really feel, I feel it in the pit of my stomach.
Mm.
So everybody has a place where if that energy is blocked, it's going to impact that part of their body. But yeah, we have to really realize that, or understand that not being able to speak your truth or speak authentically or be authentically you is going to have a physical impact, not just an emotional impact on you. As
So you feel it in your stomach.
mm,
Mine is in my hips. And
okay.
as she knows, I've been doing a lot of restorative physical work to get mobility back in my hips.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of the reasons why my hips are tight
Mm-hmm.
is because I carry trauma in my hips.
Yeah.
And some of that trauma is suppressing my voice.
Yeah.
And it sit inside of me and it passed the stomach and it sat in my hips. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
not, it's so it has, everyone is different. It could be in your neck, it could be in your shoulders, it can manifest in so many different ways,
Yeah.
which is the reason why you should free it.
Exactly. Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes that freeing, if you don't feel comfortable enough to speak your truth just yet, or be open and honest and verbalize it, sometimes I've seen people do this: go out to someplace very desolate and just scream
Scream.
and let that energy out, because that energy is blocking so many parts of your body. So that that's a release. And some people, you might not want to talk to your friends, or maybe you can't afford a therapist or whatever. You have to find a way to release that if you don't feel comfortable just yet in speaking it and letting it truly out. Um, I have this. What unique way? And you guys can answer. Matter of fact, we're going to ask several questions. This is just going to be topics that questions we're going to talk about.
Yes.
And if you have ideas, or you have dealt with this and this is how you overcame maybe one of these questions, then put it in the comments. We'd love to read them.
Absolutely.
So, what unique perspectives do women over 50 bring to conversations that are often overlooked?
Ooh. The biggest one for me is wisdom from experience.
Mm,
I'm
yes.
sorry, we have lived over 5 decades,
Right.
and you and I both are Generation X.
Right.
We are the last of the latchkey children. We are last. We are the ones. Someone said to me, so you basically were there. You've gone from telephone,
Dial
dial
telephone and the
telephone,
push button ones.
the
Right.
to AI.
Right.
And when I thought about it, I was like, oh my gosh, they're right.
Uh-huh.
We have gone from the dial, then the computers, the dial up,
Right.
to AI.
To AI.
And so we have seen a
Hmm.
lot. We've
Yeah.
experienced a
We've
lot.
experienced. Hmm.
And so, unless there are people, of course, who want to bump their own head their own way, they want to do
Right.
it themselves, figure it out themselves.
Right.
I'm one of those people. Tell me what you went through, because it might help me. I don't want to walk it. If I can make the path I'm walking easier,
Yeah.
I'm gonna make it easier.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's one of the biggest things. What about you? What do you think is overlooked?
I think, well, you've kind of already said, navigating the various life stages and challenges. And like you said, the dial up phones and blah, blah, blah. But also, we have historical context. We can tell you about certain things that happen in history that might not tell you on the news or might not tell you in books
That they're taking out of
that they're
books.
taking out in
Hmm.
books. We can talk to you about emotional intelligence, which we'll be doing a podcast on that, on emotional intelligence and the resilience, because being that Gen X, which people have a tendency to overlook, we were the first real generation of you come home by yourself, get in the door, have your
Child, I
snack.
walked to school at 6 years old by myself, two
Exactly.
miles home, and the
Exactly.
first at 6. Back was no
Yeah.
problem.
Well, no problem.
Don't come home until the street lights come on. They
Right.
didn't know where we were. There were no cell
There
phones.
were no cell phones. When you come in the door, you lock the door behind you. Don't My mother was like, "Don't answer my phone." Make sure your homework is done. And so there is that knowledge and that wisdom that, yeah, folks think, oh, well, what importance could that have? But there is a lot of history and a lot of learning we can teach you those not unders like the millennials and the Gen Zs if they want to listen. And what are the alphas? I guess that's
Is
the
that
new
the new
general.
one?
I guess that's the new
Lord,
generation, the
okay. I
alphas,
did not
which
know that one.
okay, that's a whole nother alphas.
I
Okay,
know it's the millennials, the Gen Zs.
and then now the alphas,
I thought there
because
was
I
a
no
no.
because
Okay.
our grandkids are alphas.